Namaste. Welcome everyone. My name is Kata van Doesselaar and I'm happy that you will be joining me for this special class dedicated to the season of spring, the energies of spring, the element of wood in the Chinese medicine. So what is wood element and spring about? We're coming out of winter, which is, in terms of yin and yang, it's double yin, right? It's the most inward going, most kind of closed, deep within, just really protecting our energy kind of season. And then we are slowly starting to branch out, we slowly start to move more, we slowly start to kind of get a little bit more into a different speed, right? From that kind of hibernation we start to move and gently shift gears. So we add a bit of yang into the yin. Spring is a yin-yang season. We still have this kind of waking up thing, but we are already kind of getting excited to branch out, to go out into the world, to express ourselves in a new way, to grow, to expand, and to explore new fields, just like nature. So this is the energy that we will tap into in this practice, and we will just support our system, our physical body, our heart, our mind, and also the spirit connection, so that we're able to really embrace this season, this element, as it is the best for us. And we will also support these energy flows inside of ourselves. So it's important in spring that we move, that we start to kind of do more things, that we get a bit more active, we wake up earlier, that we are a lot outdoors, if it's possible, in nature. And it's also important that we have a vision. We have a vision about what is it that we would love to see blossoming, growing, expanding in the upcoming times. We're planting seeds for the rest of the year, and what we plant now, our attitude, our energy, our vision, will have a really strong influence on the rest of the year. So it's a very important season, and if we have the chance to embrace it consciously, maybe we will be able to witness more of our magical creativity unfolding throughout the whole year. So let's just get started, finding a nice, comfortable sitting position and just taking a few breaths here, really drawing your attention inwards. Indeed, discovering this cocoon sense that we've been in. Hopefully we've been in there, right, during the winter, that we didn't spend too much of our energy in too many things, that we had a chance to reflect on some things in our life. Obviously, this global pandemic was kind of restricting our moves, so maybe we indeed stayed a little bit more inside of ourselves, and hopefully we did that in a constructive way, in a positive way. Discovering ourselves more, connecting deeper to who we truly are. So take a bit of a time here, and for a moment settling into this moment with acceptance, with relaxation. Feeling our physical body, and notice what can you soften more, where you have maybe tension, shoulders, neck, your face, your jaw. And see if you can relax these areas a little bit more. Allowing your arms to relax, to become more heavy. And also drawing your attention towards the pelvis. And let your pelvis Become also heavy, your sitting bones sinking into the earth. Allowing the breath to gently move in and out without effort. And finding in your exhalation a relief, a sweetness in the letting go. And with every inhalation, inviting this energy of spring, of renewal, of courage, of warmth, courage to explore new fields, courage to start to be active, to grow, to go out into the world again. And let every breath bring you fresh energy, fresh vitality. Maybe you can imagine that you really take in a breeze of spring with every inhalation. Breathing into all your cells that fresh energy, and with every exhalation gently letting go. Letting go of the day, of any stories that you may be busy with. And really landing into a beautiful, solid, yet vibrant spot on your mat. Feeling how this is your space. And this space is only recharging, it's only adding to who you are. It's not draining, it's not taking away anything from you. It's not wanting anything from you. So softening into this moment with a sense of acceptance and welcoming. Welcoming this experience, welcoming yourself, and welcoming the space, the world around you, exactly as it is. Holding space for all that is here right now. Understanding that nothing is against you. And we can just soften into the moment. And then slowly, gently, you can take your hands together in front of the heart. And then start to rub the hands together, creating a little heat, a little warmth, energy, right? Warmth is always energy. And now let's slowly bring both of our hands onto our eyes. As our eyes are connected to this wood element, they are connected to the two organs that are connected to wood, the liver and gallbladder. And our eyes, of course, are connected to this season, giving us a vision, giving us a plan, and guiding us where we want to journey, where we want to explore, adventure, expand. So by having our hands on our eyes, imagine that indeed you ask for clarity, you ask for new vision coming from your soul. And indeed, inviting ourselves to sense and feel and see potentials that we could explore with joy, journeys and pathways for a renewal, and allowing our minds to open to these, to release obstacles, to release limiting patterns from our creations, from our planning, from our thinking, so we can indeed just flow freely in a new way. From here, slowly take both of your hands onto the crown and gently let your wrists land on the crown and massage a little bit this top of the head, which is a great point when we want to connect to our spirit, but also when we want to harmonize our creativity and our mind connection. Inviting again for guidance, for harmony, for balance, for a sense of stability while we are in movement. And we will not set an intention at the beginning of the class, because first we're going to really free these energy channels and open ourselves up to something greater than the mind, and then we will set an intention at the end of a practice. We will work with the wood element, as I said. 2 energy channels, 2 organs are connected to these, which are the liver and the gallbladder. They are on the right side of the body, right? It's right here. And then we will just check where are their meridians, their energy channels running. So let me go a little further away so I can show you. The liver, which is the yin organ for the wood, is starting at our feet, close to the earth. So it's bringing up energy from the earth towards us. And it's starting at the inside of the big toe, and it's journeying on the foot, and it's coming towards the foot and then the inner leg, and it's going to run up on the inner lower leg. There are quite some nice points also here on the inner leg, also at the knee for the liver, and then on the inner thigh. And then from here, it's going to kind of go up on the hip flexor and go slightly out, and it's going to finish here. And this is a great finishing point, the liver 14. We will explore that together. And there is also another branch that comes all the way up through the throat, and then it will go into the eyes. So it's traveling on the face, around the lips, and it's coming into the eyes. We know that also from the Western medicine that the eyes are reflecting actually the state of our liver. So if we have that kind of soulful connection to ourselves also, but if our liver is in a healthy place. They say that the soul is seated in the liver, according to the Chinese, which is quite a puzzling thing. I always love to share that. But on the other hand, we may be able to understand that. I might just explain it a little bit later. So just tracing this line for a moment, right? So from your feet, from the big toe, the inside of the big toe next to the nail, just trace a line, come up onto the foot, come here on the inner leg, all the way up to the hip flexor, slightly out, and then the rib cage under the nipples in one line with the breastbone, the bottom part of it. Yes, so that's the liver. And then we have the gallbladder, which starts high up, and it starts on the corner of the eye, and it's going from here down towards the ear, then a little bit more to the front, then back. It travels around the ear about 2 centimeters around the ear, and then further higher up, right? It's coming higher up here. It has a few points here on the hairline, and then it also has a lot of points all the way higher up on the side of the head. Then it's coming down. We have quite interesting point at the bottom of the skull, then down to the trapezius, and then coming down on the side of the body, side of the hip, so greater trochanter, and all the way down along the side body, coming down on the side of the foot and ending at the little pinky on our foot on the inside of it. Yeah, so there is a point also between the last, so the pinky and the second last toe, which we will work with. Yeah, and there are also quite some points here, gallbladder 40 for example, in front of the ankle bone, and then we also will work with some points for the liver on the foot, like, you know, here between the big toe and the second toe, and then also liver 3, which is right before this top bone starts, right in that hole between big toe and second toe. Yeah, so we will check these ones out. For now, maybe you just want to stroke this line just to awaken this energy channel. So from the outer corner of the eye, tiny bit of movement, massaging here a little bit, then massaging around your ears, and then side of the head down, coming all the way down the side body, stroking the outside of the body. Yay! So have a nice long inhale here. Now we brought our awareness, our consciousness onto these energy channels, because the breath is really something that oils the energy flow in the whole body. So now we open these channels with our awareness. We know where they are. Let's just take a deep breath. And you can have a gentle deep sigh to release. Liver and gallbladder, they are also helping us to detoxify anything that would be harmful for us. So when we do a practice on these, like we know that spring detox is very common. We're kind of releasing stuff that our body has been storing through the winter and maybe even from last year. So we need to create space for the new, right? So it's really now the time that our bodies are releasing stuff we no longer need or that are not good for us, in order that we can welcome what is really good for us, and we can awaken new currents, new flows, and we can grow. If we are drained by a lot of stress, if we're drained by all kind of things that are here from the past or that are not good for us, then we might get easily frustrated and we don't have energy to renew. Yes, this is what you see with a lot of people who get more like very exhausted in spring, or impatient, or, you know, upset. They feel more frustrated. Anger, frustration, impatience are the emotions that could be connected to an imbalanced wood. Yeah? And if it's balanced, it could be compassion, it could be creativity, it could be like visionary, and also a sense of generosity. Believe in ourselves, and we know that we have it, we can do it, we can make it, everything is possible. So let's start our practice with one of the great poses. I'm just gonna put the sweet music. So we will have first a butterfly. Yeah, so let's just have a butterfly. We know it from the Yin. So you can have your feet closer together to the groins or further away, but they are together. And then let's just have our hands, and let's just find the inner toenail on the big toe, and then on the top, right? And then we're just gonna come down towards the meeting point between the big toe and the second toe. Yeah, in that hole. and start to just massage there a little bit. If you want, you can have a little movement here, and maybe you feel like massaging it up and down, just a little bit massaging, maybe all the way from where it originates, the liver meridian, next to your toenail on the top, coming down the inside of the toe, going down towards the splitting point between second toe and first toe, and then going further down towards the third one. Just a tiny bit of massage. Imagine you just awaken this current. And now just have a moment where you find this liver 3, right where the top of your foot, this bone, this top bone starts. If you go a little further, there is a little hole, and it's between the second toe and the first toe. There's a line you draw. That's where it is. Yeah, on both feet. And then on your next inhale, slowly have a little lift, a little lengthening, and then very gently coming down into a forward fold. You can tuck your chin in, or you can just come more down with kind of like a more straighter spine. Ideally, we would love to have the emphasis on the inner leg stretch. It's not so much about the back body stretch. And once you are here, try to find that pressure, the right pressure under this liver 3 point. So try to find the right pressure that you feel like, most probably sensitive. It's quite an important point on the liver meridian. It's helping to flow this kind of wood energy, this harmonizing, expanding, moving energy into our whole body. But also push it in a way that you can still relax. Right, finding the yin quality as well. Try to relax your head, your neck. Maybe you need to use a block. You want to place it underneath your forehead, or even a bolster across here. And then just have a few more breaths here. Breathing all the way down to our center, receiving the breath, a breath of renewal. This point actually can be incredibly helpful when we have migraines, when we have headaches, or we feel rather intense or fiery, impatient, annoyed inside. It's taking down the inner tension. It's clearing the eyes, our vision, our thinking. In harmonizing all the body functions, since the liver, it's a great general. It coordinates so many functions of our body, from the hormones to digestion to metabolism to tissue growth, detoxification. And now let's just release the point, and then let yourself go into this butterfly without the point. So really let yourself go. Maybe you even turn your arms, lower arms up. But allowing your breath to come and go. And imagine your breath is just like a river, so it's flashing your whole body through, it's flashing your energy channels through. And And every exhale is there to release, to let go. Very last breath here. And then long and full exhale through the mouth. Slowly from here, gently start to walk your way back. And you can take your hands behind you. Let's have a little windshield wipers. You can open your feet and moving our hips a tiny bit from side to side. Feeling the inner legs, feeling the outer hips. And then from here, slowly, let's take our right shin bone in front of us. And let's have the left shin bone behind. And then let's just have a little twist here. You can place your left hand onto your right knee. And on an inhale, you can just lift the heart, the chest a tiny bit. On the exhale, you can gently twist. And if you want, you can start to maybe tilt a little bit your head here so that you feel, actually we're working here on the whole left side of the body, right? Including the side of the head. And most probably you feel sensations in your outer hip. You may feel some things also in the inner leg or hip flexor area. If this is uncomfortable for your lower back or for your hips, feel free to sit on a block. And if you don't feel much, you could consider to just add the left arm high up on the top of the head, and with that increasing again a bit the side stretch. And imagine as you stay here that with every breath you're just opening more all the dusty, spaces that we didn't open, the rusty, dusty spaces, and we bring fresh air, fresh breeze, the message of spring, of renewal, of rejuvenation, of a new start, new opening into the body. And with every exhale, we're releasing toxins and things that may block us on our journey, things that are maybe creating tension inside of ourselves. All the stored emotions, stories that may limit our thinking on what is possible and what is not. Just invite a fresh breath into all the parts that we are opening. Last 3 breaths here. And with a long full exhale, slowly take your arm down. And then we're gonna gently go into a little flow here as you turn your hips the other way around. Just take the arm this time, the opposite arm, right arm above your head. And then go back again to the center. And then inhale again, open. And then slowly back. Inhale again, open. Maybe even lift the pelvis. Exhale, slowly coming down. Inhale again, open. And then exhale, slowly down. One more time on each side. And gently long exhale. Big inhale. Gently maybe resting on your big toe. And slowly back. Let's go to the opposite side. So this time you have your left shin bone in front of you, your right leg behind. Left hand behind you, next to your left hip. On an inhale, gently lift. And exhale, slowly twist. Gaze back above your left shoulder. Check how is it for the sacroiliac area. If you feel tiny bit of sensitivity, maybe sit on a block. If you don't feel much, you don't feel this outer body stretch, then maybe you want to add the top arm. So your arm on top of the head. Increasing a tiny bit more this right sideways stretch, maybe rolling a little bit your right hip in. Gently opening the body, tilting your head, finding the right angle for your neck, for the side of the head to also get a gentle stretch. And breathing here without limitation, receive that great flow of air without effort, just allowing it to come in. So we are having yin poses and also a bit of movement, a bit of dynamic movement, which is also good for the fascia, but also because we're working with the element of wood, which is connected to movement, moving the energies, muscles, setting ourselves into motion, into engagement. Therefore, we have a little bit more movement, yin flow. Last 3 breaths here. If you want, you can explore maybe twisting a little bit deeper. Inner leg, outer hip, hip flexor sensations. And with a long full exhale, slowly come back to the center. And again, little windshield wipers with the arms included. You can stay on the sitting bones as we flow from side to side, or you can come higher up, a little bit more dynamic. Slowly down, inhale, lift, slowly down, your choice. Don't force anything. You need to be able to move in the way that it feels good for your body. Slowly coming down. Let's have just the windshield wipers again. then from here, slowly, let's take the right shin bone in front of us and place your left shin bone on top of it. If that's available to you, you can place both shin bones on top of each other. Otherwise, you could just place the top leg in front of the other one, right? So this time the right shin bone is underneath, the left could be in top of it. And then for a moment, let's just find a spot which is at our little pinky. So find your little pinky on both sides and start to descend from your little pinky down to the splitting point, where actually there is the root of the little pinky and the second last toe, right? So you're just gonna find this point between little pinky and the second last toe in that little split point, in that hole. Yeah, so it's gallbladder 43. It's a really, really nice point to calm our mind, to get ourselves focused. So you are either in the square or you are in an easy pose, whichever works for you. Just have a moment and press those points. And try to really breathe down into your hips. And maybe you can sense and feel how the side of your head on both sides starts to also get alive, because that's also where this whole gallbladder meridian is running, right? On both sides, it's always both sides. And we can just have a little lift, a little length here. And then on the exhalation, again, gently, you can lean forward. You don't need to go super deep. And if you have any back issues, you may sit on a block or go only down until you feel your spine is straight to not round your back. See if you need any block or bolster to support your head. And I just have a few breaths here. Clearing the pathway. Gallbladder is an organ that helps us to make decisions in our life, and that helps us to stay focused on what we want and not let ourselves be derouted by external circumstances or internal stories or emotions. So let's have the last breath here. Long and full exhale. And you can slowly release your arms, your hands, and either just staying here or maybe up here if it was already intense for you, or you can come into the forward fold this time without holding onto any points. Just let the energy and your breath flow and observe the sensations. And maybe because we work more with the energy channels, you may feel more of a warmth or more sensations on the outer hips, the outer legs, or outer side of the body. You may become more aware of these flows and sensations. And for the last 5 breaths, explore if your body wants to maybe go even a little bit further. Only if your body, your tissues softened, opened up, and you have space to naturally melt, then do that. Don't force it. As in Yin, we always make sure that we are feeling some sensations, but we are not pushing. We don't try to reach anything. We're finding a place where we are stimulated, but we're able to relax and the breath flows nicely. We're able to let go. Last breath here. If it feels nice, you can release it through the mouth like a deep, long sigh. And then very slowly start to round yourself out of this pose. Gently walk your way back. And take your hands behind you. You can open the legs, and this time just shake them a little bit. And then let your legs rest in this open shape. You can lean back a little bit. And take this moment again to just observe sensations, inner, outer, leg. Allowing the energies to flow freely. Allowing our bodies to rejuvenate, to regain their vital enthusiasm, right? All the cells to regain their vital enthusiasm, so we can just start this beautiful spring in an energized, inspired way. And then let's slowly go to the other side, this time having your left shin bone across and take the right shin bone on top. If this is working for you, if the knee is not too high, if both sitting bones are on the floor, fine. Otherwise, feel free to place the right shin bone in front of the left. And again, we're just going to look for this gallbladder, for this 3-point, that point where your little toe starts and meets the second last toe, and that hole between the 2 toes. And then just, if you want, you can also just do it on one side. And we will not do it long here because we did it already on the other side. On an inhale, gently lengthen. And then slowly, if you want, you can hinge your upper body a little bit more forward. That might increase the stretch on the outer hip, outer thigh. But don't force anything. Stay where your breath is soft. And with every exhale, try to soften, release any tension, any pushiness, any drive to go further, to go faster. Just allowing things to unfold. again, maybe you can notice how your mind is calming down. If you have any agitation usually in the mind, or just today, you may feel it's kind of cooling down and your focus is getting more like one pointed instead of many different things. And then slowly we can release these points. And again, you can just take your hands in front of you. You can relax your head, your neck. Maybe you even feel like moving a little bit, releasing the neck, half circle. And keep on breathing gently and receiving that breath deep down into your roots. And long full exhales to release what no longer serves, what drains you, what limits you. And the last 2 breaths here. Very last one. All the air out through the mouth. Knowing also that every time as we exhale through the mouth, right, the deep sigh can also help our liver to release tension, to release anything that is too much, to pacify, to tolerate, to balance. So it's great for detoxification, deep sighs. Hands behind you, and then slowly let's just have again the windshield wipers. And if you want, you can again just shake the legs out a little bit. And place your legs down into this dragonfly position. Maybe move a little bit your hips. You can lean slightly back. And just let go of the legs and observe the sensations. Inner leg, outer leg, do they feel similar, equal, even? And then from here, slowly, let's just find our way, gently transitioning all the way down onto our bellies. Very gently landing down to the belly. You can let your feet open a little bit, and you can wiggle a bit also with the hips from side to side. Loosening the hip flexors, the lower back. You can place your head on your hands. And for a moment, just really release your chest and belly into the earth. Settling down here. Allowing the breath that comes in carry this beautiful energy of spring and renewal all the way down through your nose, down to the chest, down to the belly, and down to your legs, all the way down to the toes. As if you could nourish your whole body with that breath. And then from here, gently, slowly coming up into a Sphinx. And checking for yourself, how is the Sphinx for your lower back? Do you feel sensations? This time we would love to feel sensations into, of course, the front side of the body. A little bit of compression on the lower back will always come with Sphinx. And if it's available to you, you could even open a half frog leg position, so taking the right knee up towards your shoulder. If this is too much for your sacroiliac area, your lower back, or for your hips, feel free to just put your knee back down and stay in Sphinx. If your Sphinx is too intense on your lower back, feel free to put a block underneath your belly, and that would help. That will help to make it more gentle. And then we're just going to have both of our hands come to the forehead and have your pinkies connecting at the splitting line between, the splitting line of the forehead, right? The line that connects the top of your nose to your hairline, like that. And then go and find these 4 fingers as you place them, in total 8 fingers, but 4 on each side. And then where the last one is, that's where you want to touch the hairline. And that's going to be, so 4 finger away from the center line and at the hairline. Where your hairline starts a little bit above it, you can massage. You will find a spot there that probably is a bit sensitive. Yeah, so we are talking about these points. 4 fingers away here. Yeah, so that's gallbladder 13. And you can press on that. You can even press the top of the head one more time, which is the governor 20. It's another meridian, a really centering meridian, governing all the active energies of the body. And you could even do this while being on a block if you want to feel more sensations. So you could kind of use the thumbs to press on the gallbladder 13 and then use the other fingers to kind of come to the crown. And once you are settled here, just gently breathe. Try to breathe all the way down to your center, and even effortless breath, but a sustained breath. Noticing the sensations in the body, noticing the energies, warmth. Maybe you feel some burning sensation, inner legs, outer hip flexor area. And then slowly you can tuck your back toes under. Come back with your right leg. Wiggle a little bit and shift, taking the left knee up to the side. If it's too intense on the lower back, you can always lower the knee further way down from you, or if you want more sensations, you can take the knee higher up towards your shoulder. And if you want, you could even release now the points and just rest in this Sphinx with the half frog legs, so tipsy frog. And just breathe all the way down to your lower belly. And the last 2 breaths here. Slowly you can take your leg down and either just resting here on the belly with a little wiggle in belly shavasana, or if you feel your lower back has been sensitive, you can just gently come into a child's pose. Otherwise, you can just take both arms down and really give your body to the earth. Allowing the energies, the blood and all the fluids of the body to flow evenly into all parts of your body. And then from here, we will just find a way. If you've been in child's pose, slowly come back onto the belly, and we will flow into cat pulling its tail. But in the cat pulling its tail, we will press on a beautiful point for the liver, the last point, liver 14, which is quite an interesting point. It is a gate for hope, and it means that it just helps us to release any negativity that may pull our vision down, and it helps us to really open up for our full potentials, for a greater vision, to inspire us to go beyond, to find the energy also to expand beyond what we think in our mind is possible. So the beautiful point is located. You first need to locate the sternum, so the breastbone, yeah? And then find the bottom of the breastbone, right where the ribs are coming together, the lowest part of this center bone. Then start to draw a line to both sides and check where your nipples are. And from your nipples, draw a line down and find a crossing point between these 2 lines. So the bottom of the sternum, drawing a line to the side, and nipples. And you will, as they cross, maybe you find a point which is on the ribs, but we're looking for a point which is between the ribs. So it's between the sixth, it's around the sixth intercostal space. Yeah, so somewhere here. And most probably you will feel it's sensitive. If you press it, you may feel a rush of warmth, of energy. Yeah. So we will look for this point now that you located it in the cat pulling its tail on each side. Okay. So let's start to come down. You roll onto your left hip. Take your right knee in front of you. You can lean on your left arm. You can put a pillow here. You can be on your elbow. And we will just reach to get the bottom foot. When you reach to get the bottom foot, either take a block or just roll down onto your head. Or maybe you need that block. And find that spot again with your left hand. With your other hand, possibly you could again go back to the liver 3 or the liver 1 at the big toe, right? Maybe you remember liver 1 at the toenail, at the big toe, inside of the toe. Going down liver 3, it's where the top bone on the foot starts. You draw a line between big toe, second toe, and you go into that hole. And you could just connect again. Look for the nipple. Look for the breastbone, bottom part, draw that 2 lines, find a connection point, and locate that sensitive spot between 2 ribs. Once you have it, we stay here and we just breathe. We're opening ourselves up for greater vision, for all our potentials, for beautiful creativity and imagination. Let your mind, your eyes, your inner gaze become radiant, clear, and spacious. Releasing all limitations and inviting new visions that are coming from our souls, that are contributing to the growth and the expansion of ourselves as a person, as a spirit, for the better of us and for the better of the world. So gently breathing here. Last 2 breaths here. If you want, you can release your point and maybe go a little bit deeper into this pose, gently pushing the foot more into your hand and really receiving a more expand that breath into all the open space. And then slowly from here, you can just release your foot and you can turn onto your back this time. You can, if you had a block, you can put it away. And you can just take your knees up to the chest, move a tiny bit from side to side. And slowly release your arms, your legs, let them fall open. And just have a few moments of receiving and resting. And then from here, gently we can turn onto the other side, rolling onto your right hip. And I'm gonna turn around so you can see me good. Taking your left knee in front of you, taking your left arm behind. If you want, you can again look for the lever 1, lever 2, or lever 3. Maybe finding that lever 3 point, good source point, energizing point for the entire lever channel. Lever, which is the balancing organ, the organizing organ. And then from here, slowly either leaning onto your back and locating again this gate of hope on the left side, gallbladder, the lever 14, right? Look again for the breastbone, the bottom of it, trace a line towards the breast, and then go for the nipple. From the nipple, trace a line vertically down and find that crossing point. Oops, probably it's going to be sensitive. Maybe place a block underneath your head. And you can also adjust a little bit this cat pulling its tail. Maybe you gently kick your foot further away from you. Feeling an opening also in the shoulder, in the chest area, but also probably an outer hip stretch. And calmly breathing here. Receiving the fresh rejuvenation energy, inspiration, with every inhale, and releasing any blockage, any limitation, any frustration, tension with the exhalation. If your mind ever wanders away, come back to the breath. And let that breath bring you all the colors of spring, all the brightness, the activation, the vibrant vitality of spring. and the nourishing, compassionate energy of liver. This organ that is literally on the very physical level able to take it all. It is able to hold space, to embrace all the things that may not be ideal for us, and it's able to balance it all out. And how is that possible? Through love, through compassion, through a sense of centeredness, knowing that this too I can hold, I can embrace. And through my love, my patience, my acceptance, things will soften, things will fall into their place. So slowly you can release your point. And if you want, you can just gently kick away the foot a tiny bit more, or twist a little longer, deeper, further away from your center, and just have a few more breaths here. Feeling the opening, the freshness. Last breath, nice long inhale. And with a full exhale, release the foot. And gently roll back to the center. Take both of your knees up to the chest, and you can circle a little bit outwards in an asymmetric way. With your knees, your hips, massaging the lower back at the same time. And then slowly taking both of your legs up and just shaking arms, shaking legs, shaking everything. And slowly releasing your body to the earth. Let your feet fall open, let your arms relax. Feeling the sensations in your body. Feeling the flow of energy, and hopefully you can sense and feel that your awareness can be everywhere. You're able to sense and feel your entire body and even beyond. Expanding the awareness. And then from here I will give you two options to finish this practice. One could be against the wall, an open dragonfly against the wall, legs up, and then open the legs and just rest there. It's a very rejuvenative pose, so if you feel you need more energy, this could be a pose for you. And another one that is a bit more stable, a bit more just landing, could be a lying butterfly, possibly with a little bit of a back bend, bit of a fish. Yeah, so you could have a block between the shoulder blades, or you could have like a yoga pillow under the heart, and you could just drop down. So this would be more of an opening one. If you feel you need to kind of rise a little bit, you could do without, to rest, to just rest, open the legs, just rest. Or if you really feel you're low in energy and you want to have more energy, then the legs against the wall. So choose your option. And in this pose, we won't have any point, so you can just completely let go. And just receiving the pose with all the gifts as it comes. Feeling how with every breath, this beautiful life energy, the magic of life with all its potentials, is running through your veins, running through your energy channels, running through your heart, your mind. A few more breaths wherever you are. Really drinking in the sacred breath and allowing yourself to open all your pores, your senses, to receive the energy that flows through the breath. You can use your imagination. Maybe you would love to bring in colorful breaths. Could be a green breath to support this wood element inside. The harmonious renewal and grow. Or maybe just indeed colors from spring, fragrances of spring, really breathing them all in. And then slowly, gently coming out of your pose. And feel free to do a little neutralizer, maybe again little wipers on your back, or shaking the legs out, massaging a little bit your legs, inner, outer, giving some love to your body. And then slowly hugging your knees into your chest, giving yourself this sweet, compassionate hug. And then gently releasing your whole body to a Shavasana. It can be a Shavasana on your back if that's comfortable for you, or you can put a bolster underneath your knees to support your lower back. Or if lying on your back is not giving you a sense of relaxation, you can just roll onto your side or even onto your belly, wherever you can just let go. See if you need to cover yourself with anything. And once you settle down, we can just take a nice long inhale. And with a gentle deep sigh, release your whole body. Give permission to your body to release any remaining tension. And imagine that you're just resting in a source of rejuvenation. Maybe it kind of could be like a spa that is really bubbling around, connecting to that essence of spring when life is so excited to birth something new, like nature or birds or animals can be just so excited to go out and to start it all over again. New cycle begins. We need energy for that, so let yourself getting recharged and just rest. And then slowly let your breath awaken to a bit more dynamic rhythm. Start to breathe a little deeper. And feel how your body, your mind, your energy body, your heart is open to receive energy, inspiration, love, support, guidance in this now moment. How everything is supporting you in this new phase of branching out, of renewal. And then slowly start to find your way onto your side. And then from there, gently coming up into a sitting position that was comfortable for you. And then notice for a moment how you feel. Where did this practice take you? Notice how your head, your mind feels, how your body feels, how your presence feels. And if you want, you can use a few more minutes here in meditation, whether you have something that you wish to find an answer for, or you need to make a decision in your life, or you're looking for inspiration, or your vision is not clear about something. Could be a great moment to just sit in here and explore these themes, if you have any, because the energy of this practice is definitely working in these topics, so you may have a more clear view on what is truly the next step for you, or which way to go, what to create, what to not create. Or you can just simply enjoy a few more breaths here in this calmness, in this centeredness. As a wood practice is always balancing things out. It can make you feel like you want to move, that you feel now ready to expand, to grow, to move. May also feel maybe a little heavy if you've been having a lot of toxins and your body started to detoxify. So if you feel a bit headachy, maybe something is shifting. It will go soon away. Just drink. And maybe you just feel very centered, very gathered, very focused. The energies that were spread all over the places now is just back to you. So it could be a wonderful practice to do once a week, maybe in this spring season, to really make sure that you meet this season in the best way and you take all the gifts of this season into your life. And you align yourself, your life, to your soul's vision. So I hope you enjoy this practice. I hope you enjoy the combination, the healing, transformational combination of Yin Yoga, acupressure points, the breath, the meditation. And then obviously there is a lot more to this. And Acu-Yin can do wonders with specific physical issues, with mental, emotional issues. This was just a general practice for everyone, so everyone can get a taste from it, and everyone stepping into a spring season and enjoying that, or everyone who feels they need some kind of emotional release, tension release, they need to find their focus, they need to gather their energies. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you found this session great, healing, it was kind of, touching you, or in some ways you tuned into it and it makes sense to you and you would love to more know about this, then please check out my other videos here on YouTube and also my courses in Acu-Yin, which I'm very passionate to teach. If you have a little bit of a healing side, you may get as passionate as I am about sharing these wonderful, ancient, great tools and making them accessible to everyone for health, for balance, for prevention. So I'm teaching Acu-Yin immersion and teacher training as well, and you can find all the details on my website. Thank you so much for joining today. Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe to this YouTube channel to get more of my videos. Wishing you a wonderful day and really a wonderful renewal, really creating from your soul no matter what the world is doing around us, we can still, from within, create things that are, for us, the biggest joys, and they also enrich the world around us. Namaste.